Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Star Trek Away Missions unboxing. These are for the brand new Federation expansions. These are for the original series, OTOS, for shorthand term. We have Captain Kirk's Awakening, and we have Commander Scotty's Awakening. Now, I will be doing separate videos for each one of these. So one will be for Captain Kirk, one will be for Scotty. But I wanted to show they're both out at the same time. They did not do like a big box set for the original series or add any villains. I don't know if they have anything planned or not. These are both really cool sets because we get eight different characters from the series. Only one of them I didn't actually know. But yeah, we have Kirk, Spock, Bones, and Sulu, Scotty, Chekhov, Uhura, and then Mr. Leslie was the one I didn't know. Who I tried to go look up because I was like, was this like just an extra character? I guess he was in a lot of stuff, so it's actually pretty cool. I mean, granted, I don't know who else I would have necessarily included. I don't know all of the other main characters, but like the other 7 characters are all ones I think most people know. So a couple of things that are really cool is they have a brand new ability in here called Beaming Away, or new keyword or thing. They have some other little things they each do separately too, so they work well together. But then you can also mix them with any of the other Federation sets as well. There are cards from these sets that are repeats from the old ones, but they all have brand new images. Some of these cards we only have one copy of, and the other copy, if you want to supply to, you'd have to pull from the other sets. You'd have to, if you want both copies, either you have to mix and match from other sets, or you have to buy some of these twice. So it's kind of interesting. I don't mind that, actually. It's not that big of a deal. It just might mean you might have a Kirk card in here that says one thing, and then the other one that has Picard on it. Word text-wise are the exact same. They just have different pictures. But obviously it's going to happen. They did that with the other 2 sets. They've done that with the Romulans, where they shared cards between them. Like the second set had some stuff they only had one copy of because they were in the other set. Just those ones shared the same field. So the other thing we also have I did pick up the other 2 sets of dice. So I have the Romulan and Klingon dice. So now I have dice for all 4 characters. I'm not going to open these up anymore because you can obviously see what they are. They're just the colored dice for each set of character. So before I hop into either set here, I want to look at the new Beaming Away rules. And I don't have to go over, repeat it a second time. They're a little complicated, and I will reference them again when we get to a card that says it. But it says, since both sets have this, it says, when a mission says that your character beams away, apply the following steps. Place a beam away token. So we'll have little beam away tokens. So on the back, you'll say beam away. On that character's location, and on the location of any other character listed on the mission cards. Some of them beam away 1 person, some beam away 2 people. Place these characters on that mission card. This ends that character's activation. If any of the listed character is not in the game board, you do not do the mission. For example, if it says Spock beams away, and Spock is not on the board because either A, you're not playing him, or B, he has been defeated, and he's not on the board anymore, you can't play that card. It's not like you do as much as you can do. It says 2, immediately before activating your next character, or before using a bonus token for that or another character in the same turn, the beamed away character follows the instructions on the beamed away section. So on the card, it'll actually tell you what you're going to be doing. So, for example, here it says, we just mentioned on this box, it started with Spock. It says action. This character and Spock both beam away. Spock must not have activated this turn. Starting with Spock, both characters alternate attack actions in their base attack. The opponent rolls for Spock, rolls 2 additional attack and defense dice. 1 character is neutralized, they succeed. So what happens when you play this card is Whoever plays that card and then Spock both get pulled off the board. Before the next action, so whether the next action would have been like on your team would have been Kirk, or let's say you're fighting the Romulans and it would have been whoever, Sella is one of the Romulans, then for the next person, not the next character, your action, but any character, before your next action, I guess. So if your opponent has an action, they could probably go, but before you take any more, you have to follow these actions. If a character succeeds, place them back on their beam away token, or the game board on any transporter marked. If they cannot be placed on any of these locations, their owner places them on any legal space. In case someone moved into the spot during your turn, they can't teleport back into a person. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to hit any of the transporters, but you never know. 4, if the beam away character succeeded, they score the card. If the character fails, they're neutralized. So this is kind of a neat little action. So it's basically, what it generally does is it pulls them away. They're doing little tiny side missions somewhere else. But it's a risky thing for them to be doing. Because if they succeed, great, they win. But if they fail, then they're neutralized. So that hurts. Attack actions using their base attack ratings are melee weapons using the character's unmodified attack rating. They cannot use attack actions from any character or card. So they don't get so they're getting teleported away. They all of a sudden get a pull at a phase 3 rifle. Or if they're Romulan or Klingon, they don't get to have their battle with them necessarily. Characters cannot use backup while beamed away. So it's a fairly simple rule. It's kind of neat. So it's a neat mechanic that pulls the characters off. And sometimes it can be your character, sometimes your character and opponent's characters. It might be 2 of your characters, but it pulls them off the board for a moment, for a turn. Which also might prevent them from maybe getting hit with somebody else. Oh, the opponent was going to attack me that turn. Now they can't because I'm beamed away. So it could be a strategy that way. But it also works as a great way to, it's just a new interesting concept. And I think it's because they also handle if the original team was beaming away or beaming down to the planet a lot more and stuff like that. And we'll see what some of those cards are. There's not it's not like half the deck is those cards. There's only a handful, but it is a brand new rule for this. These 2 factions. Cool. And then the backside, just another beaming away. Just double-sided for that. Alright, so those are our 2 expansions. We're going to go ahead and start hopping into them. Alright, so this video we are going to do Commander Scotty, Federation expansion. As the USS Enterprise Chief Engineer, Scotty and his team work away behind the scenes, keeping everything running, and even in the middle of a crisis or alien attack. So, this would be kind of interesting to see how this works compared to, Kirk's deck, to see if it's more active, because it says behind the scenes, or if it's more of a passive stuff, with ways of winning. Plus, we'll have to see how it compares to the other 2 Federation of Riker and Picard, from Next Generation. I wish on the back of the box to give a little bit better description. I said this during the Kirk one. I wish they'd give a better description of what the deck or idea is supposed to be doing. This is more of an aggressive deck, or this is doing this. So, you have some idea. But that's why I like doing these videos, for that. So here is his little I'm going to have to take this off, otherwise they don't focus. Scotty's miniature there. So he's got his phaser, it's like he's got a communicator, and probably a tri-recorder there too. He's all set to go, little flared pants and everything. Yeah, definitely neat. A bunch of stuff. I like these a little bit more passive. Like some of the other characters have all their guns out and are getting ready to shoot everything, and he's all like, I'm just kind of waiting for my thing. So we have Scotty as the Chief Engineer Officer for the USS Enterprise. Command Engineering ×3, that's pretty crazy. Human, and he's the commander of this set. All Federation characters have the Type 2 phaser, 3G plus 1 attack dice, but has stun. So you don't actually do damage, you just stun characters. Miracle Worker. Whenever Scotty scores 3 or more successes in a skill test, gain a bonus action token. Oh, that's actually pretty cool, right? These guys have a little bit less skills versus some of the other teams. So he has 2 attack, 2 defense, and 2 skills. I know that the next generation team tend to have some characters had a little bit more attack or defense or skill. The OST guys seem to have a little bit less. Let's see what it says on the back. I would love reading these. I cannot change the laws of physics. I've got to have 30 minutes. That's my terrible Scottish accent. Lieutenant Commander Montgomery Scotty, to his friends, is the chief engineer officer of the USS Enterprise. He's responsible for keeping the ship running as well as taking command when Captain Kirk and Commander Spock are absent. Famous for his ability to repair damaged warp drives and other essential equipment faster than anyone thought possible. Bones McCoy described him as a miracle worker. So that's pretty good. Cool. It's one thing I like about this TOS set, is that's why I don't know if they're going to do more with it, like have other factions or not. Or if they're just kind of doing this as like, hey, here's a cool nod to the old thing, because they have a lot of like little like hints at like this and that. Plus, a lot of the card names are based off of episodes, and they didn't do that for the next generation ones. That's why I wonder if this is going to be kind of a one-off. All right, up next we have Natoya Uhura. So one of our very few lady characters we get, which is, I mean, obviously if you go to the House of Duras Romulan set, you get a bunch more, and there's a couple in the House of Romulan Klingon set and the Duras set, but in the Federation there's not a ton, but we do get another one here. So I get like she's not carrying a her like phaser or anything like that. She has her head up to her ears. She's holding on to like one of the communication devices. It makes sense. Definitely works. I almost wish I would have had her like. I get thematically it wouldn't have been as much sense if she was in a chair, because then it would have been like weird to have her like was she wheeling her chair around the station. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Definitely different design character as well. Let's hop in and see what Uhura does for us. She has communications officer. So this is actually pretty cool too, because she adds the communications keyword. Nobody else has this. So she's the only one that has this so far out of any character, any faction. Computers and science, she's a human-based Type 2 phaser. Sorry, neither. Reroll up to 1 die when taking or challenging a skill test. And operations terminal. Free reroll, which is pretty cool. She only has 1 attack, doesn't even get a point in there. 2 defense, 2 skill. She's a little bit more fragile than some of the other characters. But that's still kind of gonna happen, right? So I had to look up what sorry neither meant. Because I was like, that obviously must be a line, but it's not like live long and prosper, or sorry, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a whatever. Or some of the other famous lines from the show. So I had to look up what that meant. I'm trying to find the card that has the artwork that has reference to it. Because I know it's in here. And of course, because I'm looking for it, I can't find it. I'll point it out when I find it as we go through the cards. So, one of the early episodes, right here. So in this episode, everyone's inhibition, they get some sort of plague or mind control. I don't remember exact circumstances, but everyone kind of loses their inhibitions, and Sulu becomes basically like suave, debonair, swashbuckler guy, and he tries to take Uhura for his woman, and basically he challenges Kirk, and I guess he says something along the lines of essentially either me or him, like you have to pick you know, like, we're the men, you have to pick which guy you'd rather have. And she's like, sorry, neither. She's basically like, I may be a woman, but like, I don't have to have a man, type of thing. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, that they have a little reference to that. I had to look it up too, so I thought that was, you know, things like that are kind of neat for me because it's like, hey, this, like, like I've said in my previous videos, I don't really know a lot about Star Trek. I learned some of it from, like, just generally absorbing things. Plus, I've seen some of the new movies. I know, like, general ideas of lots of it. Plus, I watch a lot of regular media where they talk about Star Trek all the time, so I learn stuff offhand there. But I haven't watched a ton of it. So, like, this kind of is cool because it's like, I get more into learning about these characters, or I see something like that, and I'm like, ooh, what's that mean? Or, like, Mr. Leslie's in here, right? I had to go look up who that was. It's like, oh, he did this and this. And it's like, for me, that's kind of cool, because it gives me a reason to go look up this stuff. It might maybe, kind of makes me know, oh, I want to go watch these so I can see who these things are. I love that about gaming. I can play a game with these characters I don't know, because I can play the game, but it might get me into the series. Alright, sorry, a little tangent there. When Lieutenant Natoya Yahura, I love the Lieutenant in there. Did she have Lieutenant listed on here? Just Communications Officer. That would have been kind of cool, too. Is fluent in nearly 60 languages and serves as the Communications Officer aboard the USS Enterprise. She has many other skills. In her youth, she was an excellent mathematician and a record-holding sprinter. That will come into play later. Since joining Starfleet, her demonstrated considerable ability across a wide range of positions from engineering to navigation and taking helm. So I only wish, though, because she has, like, that extra thing, they would have given her, like, extra movement. I think every character has either 2 or 4 spaces. It's just designed into the game. I almost wish they would have given her, like, 3 spaces to start with, for a sprint, or giving her, like, an ability, like, once per turn you can, like, spend an action to sprint or something. That would have been kind of cool. Alright, we have Hakuru Sulu. Focus. There we go. Another guy with a phaser. Is everyone using a phaser? I think they're all, right-handed. I think every character's been right-handed that's had a phaser. I'd have to double-check the other characters, but looks like he has a little tri-recorder there. They get along with that a lot more. Also, a lot of characters looking to the left. They're holding their gun in their right hand, but they're looking to the left. So they're not looking where they're aiming, which is interesting. This is also really cool. Before I read all the rest of his stuff, his stats: 3 attack, 3 defense, 2 skills. Every other OTS character pretty much has 2 attack and 2 defense. So he actually has Excel in there. And then Spock is the only one with 3 skill. So it's kind of cool. At least one character is kind of like the tank of the group. So Chief of Astroscience, USS Enterprise. Command computers and security ×2. Human. Phaser type 2. Swashbuckler. Before discarding the rerolling attack action, you may reroll 1 die. If you do, your opponent may also reroll 1 die. So a little fair play. And then Swordsman, rolling additional die when using antique weapons. That's pretty cool, which we're going to switch that card we showed a little bit earlier. That's awesome. What does Sulu do for us here? Lieutenant Sulu was an excellent pilot with an encyclopedic knowledge of Starship, both Federation and alien. Outside of work, he was an expert of antique Earth weaponry and fine swordsman. A hobby of botany led him to collect interesting specimens from planets he visited. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that botany part comes in, but that's kind of neat. Alright, then our last one of this team was Mr. Leslie. So there is his character. Again, we have another. At least he's looking the other direction, right? Doesn't look like he's looking where he's shooting, though. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what else you can really do with some of these characters, right? To make them each look very different. And the problem is, I think, primarily, most people were right-handed, so everyone seems to have the gun in their right hand. So giving one person a data pad, one a communicator, and then just giving one nothing will help them stand out a little bit more from each other. Focus back up. Alright, so we have Duty Officer, Healing Specialist. So this is interesting. He's one of the very few characters that has no extra special things. I think a couple of the Klingons had some of that too. Like their other characters had were fronted and they were kind of like the extra guy. That's not even bad necessarily. Just kind of gives you the extra character. He has Bodyguard. When Mr. Leslie gives another character backup for defense, roll 2 additional dice instead of 1. So this could have him stick next to someone, and he's gonna help keep them alive. Let's see what it says on the back about him. Mr. Leslie has served almost every section of the USS Enterprise. He has worn gold shirt of the helm and navigation, the blue shirt for science and medical, and the red shirt of engineering and security. That's pretty cool. Be almost interesting enough to be buying 3 sets of these and have them paint one with each different colored shirt, because then you could be which role do I want him in this episode, right? That you're playing. That'd be kind of it would be ridiculous and expensive to do, but that would be kind of funny. Just to be able to have. I don't know what you do with the other sets of characters, but that'd be kind of cool. Alright, let's look at what their goals are before we look at the starter deck. We have Humanitarian Aid as our core mission. Score 30 points if you have 3 or more aid missions in your score area at the end of the game. So this is basically do this one time, do 3 missions, and you do this, boom, you get the reward. Otherwise, we have red shirts. 10 bonus points for each friendly character that is not neutralized at the end of the game. Keeping your characters alive will help you. So here you could essentially, if you're only playing with a 4-player team, you could get 4 points, right? That's pretty cool. Alright, so before we jump into the deck, we're going to look at our tokens. We have our beam up tokens, which we mentioned before, are 5 and 10 points, and then we have 10 tribbles. So this is kind of neat. So the Kirk set got something special. This set's getting tribbles, which will say tribbles on the back. So if you know what tribbles are, they're little tiny hairy fuzzballs that multiply worse than rabbits. There are special rules for them, and I will get to them when we get to a tribble card, because I don't think they pop up super often. But we have our starter deck we're going to go with. And we're going to get access the engineering log. Take the engineering skill test at any operation terminal. If passed, score this card. Score 5 bonus points for each additional success. Access the medical log. Take a medical skill test at any medical terminal. If passed, score this card. 5 bonus points at the bottom. Access science log. Take a science skill test at any science terminal. If passed, score 5 bonus points. Analyze sensor readings. Take a science skill test at a science terminal on the bridge. If you roll 2 or more successes, score 10 bonus points for each success. Answer distress signals. Take communication skill test at a command terminal on the bridge. If passed, score for 5 bonus points. And so down here, if we look at the bottom here, so far we haven't had any keywords, but we have 8 on this one, so that'll make a difference there. So that's where we're going to get some of our 8 cards. Break Tractor Beam. Taking engineering skill test at an operations terminal on the bridge. Immediately taking engineering skill test at operations in the engineering. If both passes, score this card. Cross Connect Drives. Taking engineering skill test operations in engineering. Immediately take a command at the command on the bridge. Bonus. Search for Doomsday Machine. So let's see what Doomsday Machine does. Command and conflict ability. Take the command skill test at a command terminal on the bridge. If passed, score this card. Score 25 bonus points if cross-connected drives is in your score area. So I love these connection cards, right? The not cross-connect. But yeah, you do the one, you find this card. A little bit hard to pass. You have to be in 2 areas, but if you pass it, you get this one, so now you score an extra 25. So it'd be 30 plus an extra 25. So 55 points for 2 cards, it's definitely not bad. Deep Space K7. Score this card if you have a character at the command terminal in the crew quarters. Then place Tribble tokens in the crew quarters. Alright, so here's our first Tribbles card. So we're going to pop up and see what Tribbles do. The effect of Tribbles. Immediately after any player rolls a skill, attack, or defense roll while on or beamed away from a board with a Tribble token, they must reroll 1 die to their opponent's choice. If the characters are Klingon, they must reroll 2 dice instead. I guess Klingons really hate Tribbles. So after any player rolls skill, attack, or defense dice while on or are beamed away from a board with a Tribble. So if you're on one of the 4 boards that have a Tribble token on there, you have to reroll a dice. Adding Tribbles at the end of any player's activation or bonus actions, unless they have scored Deep Space K7, they add more Tribbles. To do this, they place a Tribble token on the mission board that does not have Tribble tokens on it, but is adjacent to one with a Tribbles token. If there are no such boards, they do not add Tribble tokens. Tribble token on a mission board that doesn't have any Okay. So yeah, at the end of any player's activation, if there's Tribble in one board, it affects the entire board. Then it goes to the next board, to the next board. Now you might be, there's only 4 boards, why did I get 10 tokens? Because there might be cards that put Tribbles on other things, like a character board or somewhere else. Or if you're playing a bigger game, and you have like a 4-player game, and you have all 4 sets, then you can have up to 8 boards out. So there's that as well. Moving Tribbles. Any character may take an action to make a medical, science, or security skill test or an attack action to remove Tribbles. Move 1 token for each success, starting with the closer token before those further away. Yeah, it's just kind of cool. So basically, they're going to make you, as long as they're on the board, you have to re-roll 1 die that your opponent chooses. So that's like, oh, sweet, I rolled a 6. They're going to make you re-roll it, right? That's pretty interesting. Yeah, so that says Deep Space K7 here. It says, score if you have one and then place this. So this is the only time you're not going to, so at the end of any player's activation or bonus phase, unless they have scored Deep Space K7, they add more. So, yes, if you've scored this thing, you don't have to add more, but you already have added a Tribble anyhow. You're starting it. There's a couple other Tribble cards in here we'll get to. Emergency Evacuation. Take a security skill test at a command terminal in crew quarters. Immediately take a command skill test with a different player any other command. If you pass both, score this card. So there's another aid card. Here's another Tribble. Give them a good home. Take an engineering skill test at Operation Terminal in the transporter room. If you score 3 or more successes, score this card. Bonus, score 5 points for each mission board with Tribble tokens. Your opponent must discard a mission card, 2 cards if 3 or more missions have Tribbles on them. Remove all Tribble tokens. So this is kind of cool, because like you want to get the other one done, spread them Tribbles around, then you almost want to then score this. So you score 20 points, plus an additional 5. So if you have all 4, it's another 20 points, right? And your opponent has to discard multiple cards. So it's kind of cool. Again, I love the connectivity between these cards. Install the cloaking device. Taking engineering skill test and operations in engineering. This scores if you score 2 or more successes. Score 25 bonus points if you have steel cloaking device in your scoring area. So let's see what that one does. Stealing cloaking device. Take a security skill test at operations in engineer if the character that is not in line of sight of any hostile characters. If you roll 2 or more successes, score this card. This is kind of interesting because I think this one is also in the Kirk deck. But obviously you can't have 2 copies of it. But it's kind of neat that this one has 1 card that goes with it, but the other one didn't get one. Marksmanship. This is one of those cards I mentioned before. It has supply 2. There's only 1 in this deck. The other one is in, I think, Riker's deck. There's 2 of them in there, so you have to have different pictures, but you can still definitely use them. Score this card when your character puts a stun token on a hostile character, or your character has dealt 3 or more damage to a board character. Yeah, just not bad. Reestablish communications. Put a computer skill test at the operations terminal on the bridge. If passed, score this card. Bonus. List cards in your score area. Your bonus scores 5 bonus points for all missions requiring a command skill test. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Repair Impulse Strike. Take engineering tests in operations and engineering. If passed, score. Bonus. Each player may draw a mission card. For each opponent that draws a mission card, you may discard a mission card and draw a new mission card. So that's kind of neat. I can draw one, and then if, like, my opponent does it, you can be like, you know what, I'm going to get rid of this one and draw another one. Kind of helpful for you. Repair Phaser Circuits. Taking action. Taking engineering skill test in a command terminal in the armory. If passed, score this card. Not sure why it has action a second time. I think that's an error. Restore Transporter. Taking engineering skill test on an operations terminal and transport room. If you score 2 or more successes, score this card. So you're going to notice there's a lot of stuff about taking engineering skill tests in here. And really, Scotty's the only one that has engineering, so he's going to be doing a lot of that. Well, you have a bunch of... we have 2 command characters. We have Scotty and Sulu that both do command. And we have Scotty and Uhura that both do computers. So we cover a couple of them bases pretty well. For each additional success, you may place a friendly character on any empty space. Oop, that is full. Let's start the next one there. Save the Quadro Tritail? Which is Tribbles in there. Yeah, Tribble card. Aid and Tribble cards. You get bonuses. Take a medical sciences security test at the medical lab in the biology lab. Roll an additional die for each board with Tribble tokens. If you score up, you have 4 or more successes. So it's kind of interesting because it's the second card now that basically you're going to gain extra stuff if you have Tribbles everywhere, but while you have them out, you're going to have that hindrance of having to reroll a die every time. So it's kind of like, if I let them spread out, I can potentially score a lot more points, but until I can score them, I'm going to have weakened tests. That's kind of interesting. We have Shore Leap. This is our first Beam Aways on this set, I believe. This deck. This character takes a security skill test and immediately takes a science skill test. The character succeeds and scores a mission if they pass both tests. It's pretty nice. They just get a pop away, try to take these 2 tests, and then they score, they go back. If not, they get neutralized. Yeah, it's also interesting because Contact and Illusion, which aren't really relevant in this deck, but they're really good for the Kirk deck. Alright, and let's look at our events. We're going to start with Tribbles. The very famous episode. If any mission board has Tribble token, place a Tribbles token on each mission board, including those that already have Tribble tokens, to a maximum of 2 Tribble tokens per board. Ooh boy. So I don't think yeah, so that's the reason why we also have more, because now if we have extra boards, we can have more on there. But yeah, I don't think that it doubles the effect. It's just going to be hard because now I have to remove 2 Tribbles to get rid of them off of a board. This next card is very interesting. So this is a 100-meter dash. We did mention on Uhura's card. She said she was, what was the exact wordage there? Record-holding sprinter. So that's what this card is kind of referencing. Also interesting, so far this is the only card out of every faction that there's only 1 copy of that's supplied to. There was some maybe before, but these new Federation sets fixed some of that. But yeah, so until we either have you buy a second copy of this set, or maybe another set comes out, you'll do it. This is the only one, which is interesting because it's a Ohura card only, so I don't know why they would put this in another deck. But very interesting that they did that. So may be played during Ohura's activation. Take a move action, then move up to 2 extra spaces. Roll a die on a score of 4, 5, or 6, gain a bonus token. This should be one of the things that would have been cool. Like her card would have just said, find this card and start with it, right? And then she could have had a one-time sprint card. That would have been kind of neat. We have Beam Us Up. Take a command skill test. If passed, place this character in any empty space. You may place any other characters that were adjacent to this character, so they're adjacent at the end of the turn. That's fun. You move guys around the board. Disguise Biosignature. Play when a hostile character ends a move action in line of sight of a friendly. Choose one of the following. Move the friendly character 2 spaces. Or take a science skill testing Operation Terminal. If passed, place the friendly character in a space that is not within line of sight of a hostile character. Cool. Kind of really depends on where you are. Hailing frequency. Play before rolling a dice for a command skill test. Take a communication skill test. If you roll 2 or more successes, all friendly command skill test for this action roll an additional die. Yeah, so Ohura's gonna be really good at these ones. Locating the alien signal. Play before the opponent rolls dice and taking action requiring a skill test. Take a science skill test at Operation Terminal. Immediately take a communications skill test at the same terminal. And she has both, right? She should. Yeah, science and communication. Nice. If both are passed, cancel the action. The opponent gains a bonus action. Medical attention. Take a medical skill test. If passed, this or an adjacent character either recovers 1 damage for each success or removes a condition. If the character is in a sick bay, shuffle this card into your support deck. Moderate transmission. Take a communication skill test at Operations on the Bridge. If you roll 2 or more successes, search your mission deck for a mission card. That is crazy good. Find a specific mission. Scan for life signs. Take a science skill test at an Operations Terminal, then a communications at the same terminal. Both are cast, gain a bonus action. Scramble comms. Play before your opponent rolls for dice. For a command, communications, computer, or diplomacy skill test. Take communications at Operation Terminal. If 2 or more successes, the opponent's skill test rolls 1 fewer die for each success. She cannot take anymore. After failing an engineering skill test, retake the skill test but roll 2 fewer dice. This is very interesting card, right? There's lots of stuff that are like, do this and you need X number of successes, do this. And it's interesting we literally have a card that's like, if you fail, do this. And there's not many of those. It's kind of neat. Site-to-site transport. Maybe play if there's a friendly character in Operations Terminal in the transport room. Place this character in any space in the same space. This character and any character in the same space in empty space. This is like the second card we have in this set that's going to let us teleport people. Plus we have the 100-meter dash card to let people move. Follow that, we also have a sprint card. Take the move action, then move up to 2 extra spaces. So you have some stuff in here that's going to let guys move around the board a lot quicker. Which is really going to go well with their early mission cards, which were all about doing this test here, doing this test here, doing this test here. These guys want to be at certain areas, sometimes spread out into multiple areas to do tests. So giving these extra movement is going to help them get into place very quick. In Tactical Retreat, when a hostile character ends a move action last time of a friendly character, move that friendly character 2 spaces. So this is another one where it's, hey, we're going to avoid conflict. We're just trying to do tests and get tests done and do things there. That's really what this team's about. They're not trying to, like, interact with the opponents that much. They're just trying to do skill tests. This is a really great card. Communicator. Play once per action. This character gains all of 1 specialization from 1 friendly character until the end of this action. So this can let somebody else borrow it. So, like, if someone needs the 3 engineering from Scotty, or the 2 communication from Uhura, or the 2 security from Sulu. They can pick that up. Or mentioned like with the Kirk deck, because this is also in there, it's like someone needs Bones' medical skills. They can get it from across the board, which is really cool. Hypo Spray. Cover up to 2 damage or remove 2 stun tokens from this or an adjacent character, then discard this. If this character is in sick bay, shuffle it into your support deck instead. That's definitely cool. I love when we get extra attack options, which are cool. So this is Sulu here with his Rapier. Sword, Rapier, attack, +1, damage, 0, and melee. So basically just replaces your phaser with a damaging thing, but it's a melee instead of a ranged. But unlike the phasers that upgrade it, or like setting phasers to kill, you don't lose your diplomacy skill. Plus with Antique, Sulu also gains, so he gets to roll an additional die when using an antique weapon. So now he gets +1 attack die, plus an additional die for that. So he gets 2 attack this area, 3, so he gets 5 dice if he's at full. And then also, before discarding the reroll, you may roll 1 extra die. So yeah, you can do pretty darn well with that. We have the Tricorder, which is in a couple of characters holding. Roll 1 additional die when this character takes a science or security test. Or interrupt at the start of the character's activation, you may pick 1 support or mission card from your opponent's hand, look at it, and return it. The Trident Scanner. Very interesting. Play when taking engineering skill test. Roll 2 dice and place them on this card. When you could discard a reroll, you may use these dice to replace any of your dice rolled in the test. Okay. Taking your skill test, roll 2 dice and place them on this card. When you could discard your reroll, you may use these dice to replace any of the dice you rolled before deciding whether to reroll. Discard all dice on this test at the end of the engineering. That's pretty cool too. Save the dice you need to pick from. Now, last card of the starter set is the Universal Translator. Roll 1 additional die when this character takes a command, communications, or diplomacy skill test. This can be very powerful in a lot of stuff. Bonus, this character rolled up to 2 successes in a command or diplomacy test and has scored a contact mission, getting 5 bonus points. That is fun. Alright, then we're going to look at the side deck stuff. So let's see what we got in here. We have Access Captain's Log. Take a command skill test at any command. If passed, score this card. Cat's Paw, I believe is the name of one of the episodes. Character beams away. So we're going to get some more beam away cards in here. This character takes a diplomacy skill test, then takes a security. Succeeds if they score 4 or more between the 2. File mission report. Take communications at the command terminal in the crew quarters. If passed, score 5 bonus points. So we're going to get more of these. Take this test at this terminal in this area, but just for different ones. You might want to swap some out for the other ones, depending on what characters you're using. We're just going to get a bunch more of these, it looks like. Get main computer online. Computer skill test or operations. Immediately take another computer with a different character at any other operations. Pass both, score this card. Neutralize threat. Interrupt. Score this card when your character incapacitates or neutralizes a hostile character. That's pretty good. Red alert. Score this card if a character is in the armory, bridge, or engineering, and you have a character at your command terminal in all 3 locations. Bonus, you may search your support deck or discard pile to set phasers to kill. This is actually pretty cool, right? So this deck already, we have cards you said help you move around and get characters in a different area, beaming them, extra move actions, enemies you can move. Also, now you get you have characters at all 3 terminals, and this character's at one of those 3. Boom, also now you can like score 40 points, which is great. That's awesome. Plus you can set your phasers to kill if you'd like, which will help you like, hey, guess what? We're going to turn around and start attacking everybody. Like, we just scored a bunch of terminals, but we need to eliminate these guys. It's pretty fun. Reestablish communications, we saw already. Reroute main power. Engineering, skill test, operations, and main corridor, 5 points if succeeding. Restore power to the bridge. Score this card if a character is at the science terminal in the bridge, engineering, and science lab. You have all 3 characters at science terminal. So same thing there, the other one. Bonus, this card is in your scoring area for 5 bonus points for all missions requiring characters on the bridge. So again, that's actually pretty cool too, right? If you can spend the time to do all this extra stuff and get guys arranged, you gain big bonus. Plus, now every time you do another bridge card, you're going to gain an extra bonus. Another shore leaves. Alright, not too many new missions, but a decent couple to get us started. Then we have some more actions. We have another beam us up. We have a ceasefire. Recover 1 damage from one of your characters. Each opponent may recover 1 damage from one of their characters. Each opponent that recovered damage can recover an additional damage from one of your characters. So yeah, this is kind of a thing like, I need to heal, I'm going to heal, and possibly give everyone else a heal too. But if they heal, you get extra. So they might decide, oh, you know what, I can't afford to let you have 2 healing. So that's kind of cool. Disguise biosignature we saw. Diversion. Taking a pose diplomacy skill test against a hostile character in a line of sight. A pass with the hostile character 1 space for each success. Roll 1 additional skill dice so this character is adjacent to the hostile character. This is kind of neat. We've had ones where if you get spotted, you get a move. This lets you do the opposite. Then we have evade. Take a move action. This character may move through, but not in their movement in spaces occupied by hostile characters during this move. Again, movement cards, very helpful. Hailing frequency we saw. Locate alien signal we saw. Medical attention. Monitor transmission, we're getting just a bunch of duplicates. So if you really like these things, you can add extra copy of each one. She cannot take anymore. Site-to-site transport. Tactical retreat. So we already saw most of them, it's just a lot of extra duplicates. But that's awesome because they're all brand new cards. We get 2 copies. So again, you can either add them into your main deck, mix and match stuff out, or you could add them to one of the other decks in the game and keep this one the same. We have some new equipment. We have the engineering kit. Roll 1 additional die when this character takes an engineering skill test. Bonus, if this character rolled 2 or more successes in an engineering skill test, you scored a repair mission, gain a bonus action. So yeah, if you specify it for a certain type of card, get bonuses. The laser beacon. Discard this, or place this character in any empty space and then discard this card. You may place any other character that were adjacent to this character so they're adjacent at the end of this action. Yeah, so it's a quick transporter. Pretty fun. We have Pag, which we saw in one of the older sets. Shuffle your support deck's discard pile, and then put it on top. Put the top card into your hand. Search the support deck discard pile for any 2 cards and shuffle them into your support deck. So it's kind of neat. Like, which one do you want to do? Either search your discard pile for any specific 2 cards, put them into your support deck. So you're going to gain access to them, but you don't know when. Or shuffle your discard pile and automatically gain 1 card, but you don't know what card you're getting. So use this fairly early on, you have a good chance of getting a specific card. Use this later, it might be worth, even your deck is lower, it might be worth putting 2 cards back in there. Kind of cool. Another hypo spray. Library tape. Roll 1 additional die when this character takes a computer skill test. Search for 1 support or mission card from your discard pile. Yeah, this is also a couple of cards in this deck that do that, which are cool. Trident Scanner and Universal Translator, which we've already saw as well. Cool, so that's what we have for that. Alright, so that's what we have for the Commander Scotty Federation expansion. So yeah, very interesting what it does. So like, as opposed to like the Kirk set, Captain Kirk set, it has a lot more of the go here, do this, terminal, do this, where that one has a lot more interactivity, like trying to negotiate with characters, or has a lot more beaming away stuff. I could see people be like, I don't like the Tribbles stuff, take it out, put some of the other cards in. I wish there was more stuff in the support in the sideboard deck that had a couple more Tribble cards. So if you really liked the Tribble thing, you could have added more in there and like went hog wild with that. That would have been kind of cool as well. Couple of cards that obviously you can see will really benefit like some of each of the characters. Like a lot of engineering stuff for Scotty, communication stuff for Ahura, command or security and attack stuff for engineering for Scotty, security and attack stuff for Sulu. And then, Mr. Leslie doesn't really specialize in anything, but he could be very helpful for that guy that sticks with him. But he's also, just to note this, he's also the specialist of the team, and you have to have one specialist. So if you decide you don't really like, if you want to swap characters out, you can swap them, but it has to then now be for another specialist. So you can swap out Sulu and Ahura very easily because they're not a commander or a specialist, but you have to swap one specialist for another. So that's kind of interesting. It would be kind of fun to play a 4-player game with original series versus next generation Federation characters. It would be kind of cool. Or if you had to obviously have 4 boards, I don't know how crazy it would be having having so many teams out, but it'd be almost kind of neat to have one team controlling one player controlling 2 teams of the original series. So they have like 9 characters, I think. Because I think there's a 5 and a 4 team. And then one controlling the original team with 8 characters. Then having like one player controlling both sets of Klingons. And then like the last player, they'd be stuck with having the 2 opposing teams almost of the Romulans and the Borg until they release more of those. But it'd be kind of crazy. But that's why I really hope they release some extra boards. But even still, though, you could even play with that. I wonder if it would be interesting to also, play some really crazy, huge game like that is you buy a second copy of the base game, so you can do that. But then play, like, half Borg ship, half, like, Enterprise ship, or, like, Federation ship. Like, they crashed into each other. So, like, same tiles have to touch each other, but it would add, like, that more distinction of the board. But yeah, it'd be cool if they add some more things, like maybe like, hey, here's a Romulan ship and a Klingon ship on one side, and then, or maybe like stuff for the original Federation would be kind of cool too. Who knows? We'll see what comes out. Hope you guys enjoy it. Check out the Captain Kirk set if you haven't. Check out all the other sets if you haven't checked them out. Q, definitely hit up on him. You guys, anything else you want to see, let me know. See you guys later. Bye.